two presentations that I will remember for the rest of my life. One was Marcus Lemonis at Icon. One was John Fisher at our conference.
John Fisher gave the most powerful 45-minute talk that I've ever seen, and he did it without a note. He was very personable. He told a story about his father and his family and the difficulties that they had. He talked about the time when his father passed away, and there were definitely people crying. Talk itself was just infused with emotion, giving, purpose. It just rocked me.
He was walking around the room, and he was bringing in stories of people that were in the room and talking and mentioning them by name. And the room was alive. There was a moment where Mitch Jackson and I looked at each other about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, and we just shook our heads like, this is gold. Like, this is amazing. And it was just that good. And like a true good trial lawyer, it was a great lesson. It was a fantastic lesson, and it was something I'll always remember.
What do you hear? John Fisher, who is in the house, knocked my socks off. He talked about, well, his topic was lawyer referral-based marketing. I felt like I watched a presentation on how to tell a persuasive story. But John just killed it at the conference, and my takeaway was to use established storytelling techniques, to use props, to lay down on a table, to use a door and open and close a door. Okay, to use your environment to make your point. John did it as the master that he is, and that was my takeaway with John.
But that was just a powerhouse presentation. He didn't need any slides either. He had some, but that was just to highlight a point. But I know he looked me in the eye 2 or 3 times. I know he looked everybody in the eye 2 or 3 times. He mentioned at least 20 attendees by name during his presentation. And there was a moment after having talked about the lack of connection with his dad that he walked over to Tim, his son. And I was definitely tearing up then. I mean, it was, I mean, even right now, it's like, I went home and talked to my kids nicer after having watched John talk to Tim. So it was very special to me. And I
think that it's very, very rare for somebody so professional and polished in what they do to also be so obviously genuine and sincere. And he just blows that uniqueness out of the park.
Two presentations that I will remember for the rest of my life. One was Marcus Lemonis at Icon. One was John Fisher at our conference, because they peeled everything back and they were raw. They were completely raw. I mean, John Fisher talks about a moment when he's a teenager, and he sets up the stage where he opens the door and you hear the door open, and he's sitting at a conference room table with his mom and his sister, and they're about to tell him he is drinking too much. It's affecting our family and you need help. And he tells them no. And then at the end, he wraps it up. And someone posted this picture, which is it encapsulates everything. He's laying on a table, at the conference. He's laid on a table. His son is about 10 steps from him. And in the background, there's a picture of him and his dad behind him on a PowerPoint. And he talks about his dad's last words before he dies. And it's, I should have spent more time with my family. And if that doesn't just dig deep into you, I don't know what will. You don't have a heart. So it was an amazing, amazing speech. And I'll remember it forever. So